What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel. Now for today's video, I want your guys' opinion on this. I want you guys to post in the comments below your thoughts on this deck, because in today's video I'm going to be showcasing, or rather do a deck profile on my Chronomaly deck. This is something that I've been wanting to work on for quite a while now. Never really got around to it up until like the last week or so, or something like that. But I thought it'd be fun to do this Chronomaly deck for a couple reasons. One is because it actually utilizes not one but two different fusion monsters that were from none other than Legend of Blue Eyes and Metal Raiders, which is kind of funny. It also uses up some of the more better Chronomaly Xyz monsters that are in the extra deck, and the side deck is fairly pretty cool. So it's fairly pretty good. So I want your guys' opinion on this. I want you guys to comment below your thoughts on this deck and what cards I should take out, what cards I should put in. I want your guys' honest opinion on this. So I'm not gonna waste any time. I'm just gonna get straight into the deck profile. And if you guys do enjoy the deck profile, and you guys want to see more in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, smash the thumbs up button, and be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Links are in the description. And of course, for fan mail, if you guys have any fan mail you want to send me, my address will also be in the description as well. Let's get straight into it. First up, we have one copy of Chronomaly Soul Monolith. Only one copy because you can just easily bring this back off of cards like Monster Reborn and whatnot. So only one copy. What's cool about this is that this is the main card that will help you go into Chronomaly and Landis, which is actually what I'm running in this deck, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, just a nice way to go, a really nice way to go into a level 6 right. Or rather, into a rank 6 Xyz right off the bat. Not too bad. It's actually not too bad. Even though its attack and defense stats are low, its effect is still pretty good. Being able to just target one of your Chronomalys and make it level 6 is just absolutely insane. Then we have 3 copies of Chronomaly Moai. I think I may have some of these, but not all of them actually in my collection. But if you guys, but the effect of Moai reads: if you control a face of Chronomaly monster, you can special summon this card from your hand and face of defense. So yeah, it's basically a Cyber Dragon, funny enough. So again, pretty much, so Soul Monolith and any of the 5s, the 4s, or even the 3s, and you can summon Atlantis, which is pretty cool. But again, but what's cool about this is that a lot of these have a lot of the 5-star Chronomaly monsters have what's called Cyber Dragon effects, meaning that if you're able to meet the requirements, you can just summon them directly from your hand, and you can easily go into your rank 5 plays, which there are only 2 rank 5 monsters that they can go into. There's 2 rank 4s, and then of course you got the rest, which is pretty cool. Then we have 2 copies of Chronomaly Tula Guardian. So this is basically the exact same thing. Has the Cyber Dragon effect, but with the catch being that there has to be a face-up field spell on the field. So if there's a field spell in the field zone, like say Chronomaly City Babylon, or perhaps even Mystic Mine for that matter, as a random example, you can just side draw this from your hand, special summon Moai. You can go into either Chronomaly Machu Mech or Ramana, which is absolutely incredible. Then we have 2 copies of Chronomaly Akambaro Figures. This is actually a sort of new card. like semi new. I think we've had this like within the last like year or so. But if you guys have never seen this card before, the effect reads. The effect reads: if a Chronomaly monster or monsters you control would be destroyed by battle or your opponent's card effect, you can discard this card instead. If this card is in your grave, you can pay 1,000 life points, special summon this card, but return it to the hand during the end phase. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this effect, except Chronomalies, and you can only use this effect once per turn. So, again, being the fact that it's a 5-star, you can pay. You can actually trigger its first effect, where if you have, I'll say, Moai and it's about to be destroyed, you can target Agambaro figures, and your opponent will have no choice but to go into their main phase 2, set and pass. Your turn comes, you draw, you pay the 1,000, summon Agambaro figures, and you can easily go into Chronomaly Machu Mech. Easily. Which is pretty good. Pretty good. You are, but, and the crazy part is that you're bypassing the what's being known as what's called the compulse effect, meaning during the end phase, as it says, return it to the hand during the end phase. That's the compulse effect, which is pretty cool. So again, you do have some combo plays, but still it's not too bad. Next up, we have 2 copies of Chronomaly Moai Carrier. So the effect on this reads: if your opponent controls a card you control no cards, you can special summon this card from your hand. So pretty much any card, whether it's like a back row or whatever, you just summon this, and you easily have your rank 5 play. So I built this deck solely to revolve around summoning the 5 stars, the 6 stars to go into your rank 5, rank 6 plays, and to be able to use a card like, say, like Argent Chaos Force to summon and Landis, which is pretty crazy. Next up, we have 3 copies of Chronomaly Nebra Disc. Yeah, this is another semi-new one, or actually, okay, I thought so. So this actually came from World Superstars. So this was one of the world's prize cards from like years and years ago. So if you guys have never seen this card before, it's a 4-star light machine with 1,800 attack and 500 defense, and the effect reads: when this card is normal summon, you can add 1 Chronomaly card from your deck to your hand, except this card. If this card is in the graveyard and all monsters you control are Chronomaly monsters, minimum 1, you can special summon this card in defense position. You cannot activate cards or effects during the turn you activate this effect, except Chronomaly cards and effects. You can only use 1 Chronomaly Nebra Disc once per turn, only once that turn. So it does have the Cyber Dragon effect, but what's cool is that it also has the Stratos effect, meaning that you're able to add Chronomaly cards from the deck to the hand, and it's even more interesting because that you also have the Chronomaly Temple Trillathon. You can just go ahead and normal summon again and go into your rank 4 plays, like say the Utopia double plays, or even also Chronomaly Chateau Hyuk as well, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Next up, we have 3 copies of Chronomaly Magilla Globe. So again, a lot of these I'm pretty sure you guys have never seen before, but so I'll read off some. I will be reading off the effects. So Magilla Globe reads: you contribute this card, special summon 1 Chronomaly monster from your deck, except this card. If this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you can banish 1 Chronomaly card from your grave, except this card. Add this card to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. So again, it does have it has a monster sort of like a monster reincarnation effect, but it also has a sort of like a 1-for-1 type of effect where you're able to send the card, send this card to the grave, add a Chronomaly from the deck to the hand, which is not too bad. Plus it's a level 4, so you can easily go into your Chateau plays, into your Utopia double plays, which is pretty cool. I am actually tempted to. I was actually tempted to do something different with the Utopia package, but I decided not to, only because I knew that it wouldn't work out. Plus, I didn't have any room in the extra deck anyway, so it is what it is. Next up, we have 3 copies of Chronomaly, Tuspa Rocket. Yes, Tuspa Rocket. So this is another semi-new one. It's a 4-star rock. It's a 4-star Earth Rock with 1,000 attack and defense, and its effect reads: if this card is normal or special summon, you can send 1 Chronomaly monster from your deck or extra deck to the grave. Then target 1 face-up monster on the field. It loses attack equal to the level or rank of the monster sent to the grave times 200 until the end of the turn. A number exceeds monster that was summoned using this card on the field's material gains this effect. This card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. Can we use each effect once per turn? So not only does this have a Foolish Burial, extra Foolish Burial effect, but being able to just automatically force your opponent's monsters to lose attack based on the level or rank of the monster sent times 200 is just absolutely insane. Plus, if you were to have Monolith and Rocket on the field, Monolith's effect would trigger. Rocket becomes level 6. You can go into Chronomaly Atlantis, activate Argent Chaos Force, summon Chronomaly Chaos Atlantis, and Rocket's effect would trigger, giving Chaos Atlantis an additional attack, and if you were to add Chaos Atlantis' effect as well, that's quite the play. That's quite the play there. That's quite the play there. And then to round out the Chronomaly monsters, we have 2 copies of Crystal Skull. So it's a 3-star light rock with 900 attack and 600 defense. If you control a face-up Chronomaly monster, you can discard this card to the grave, add a Chronomaly monster from your deck or grave to your hand, except this card. This effect can only be used once per turn. So you're mainly you're mainly using this card as sort of like a hand trap effect, which is pretty cool. But you can either use it as a 1-for-1 or as a monster reincarnation. So it's either 1-for-1 or monster reincarnation, which that effect is pretty good. Being able to add Moai to your hand, special summon it, activate the Trilithon, go into your Soul Monolith, special summon the I'll say another Moai. Monolith's effect would trigger. Moai becomes 6, and Atlantis on the field. Plain and simple. It's literally that crazy. It's that crazy. And then for the artifact package, we have 2 Scythe and 1 Lancia. This is like the normal. This is like the standard, the semi-standard artifact plays that they have, because artifact is basically a buster lock where it locks your opponent out of summoning from the extra deck, and then Lancia pretty much actually prevents Call by the Grave from being triggered during that turn, which is pretty cool. Moving on into the spells, we have the 1 Instant Fusion and then the 1 Ready Fusion. Instant Fusion, so with this you pay, with Instant Fusion and Ready Fusion, you with both cards you pay 1,000. The only difference is that with Instant Fusion you get to summon a level 5 or lower fusion from your extra deck, but it won't be able to attack, but it's also destroyed during the end phase. How do you bypass it? Use it as Xyz's material. The same thing goes for Ready Fusion, but instead of level 5 or lower, it's level 6 or lower, which is pretty cool. So with Instant Fusion, you're obviously going to be summoning the cards cards like Carbanola Warrior. Ready Fusion basically gives you Guilty of the Dark Knight, go into your plays, and you're pretty much off to the races there. We have the one Monster Reborn. It's a Monster Reborn. You got to run it and everything. Rank Up Magic Argent Chaos Force, only one copy. Funny enough, you could actually, I believe it says that you can bring, so you could actually bring this back to your hand, which is kind of funny. So the effect of Argent Chaos Force reads, target one rank 5 or higher Xyz monster you control, special summon from your extra deck a Chaos number or Chaos Xyz monster that has a rank higher than the monster you control by using the target as material. It is treated as an Xyz summon, and the materials to the you can transfer the materials to the summoned monster, which is pretty cool. When a rank 5 or higher Xyz monster is supposed to summon to your field while this card is in your grave, except during the damage step, you can add this card to your hand. So you can actually, if you were to have 2 Chronomaly Atlantises, you can activate this card, summon one Chaos and Atlantis, activate Argent Chaos Force, bring it back to the hand, activate it again, summon another Chaos Atlantis, and your opponent essentially can't play any form of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because you would have 2 3300 beat sticks on board, which is absolutely insane. Moving on into the rest of the spells, we have the one Call by the Grave. Obviously, you want your plays to go through, so why not use Call by the Grave? 2 copies of Twin Twister, a nice little back row removal, nothing too crazy there. Double or Nothing, the one copy of Double or Nothing for the Utopia plays, which is pretty cool. Chronomaly Pyramid Eye Tablet. This is actually kind of funny enough. Funny enough, this is your main win condition if your opponent were to have a card like, say, Zeus on the field or something like that. This card is your big win condition, because the effect reads, all Chronomaly monsters you control gain 800 attack. It's just that simple, and it's a continuous spell. So no matter what Chronomaly monster you have, they gain 800 attack, which is going to be the main card that you're going to need to basically beat your opponent. And I'm only running one, only because I didn't have enough room in the main to add in a second one. So it is sad, but it is what it is. Next up, we have 3 copies. Next up, we have 3 copies of Chronomaly Temple Trillathon. This card is just absolutely stupid. So the effect reads, if you control no monsters or all monsters you control are Chronomaly monsters, you can pay 500 life points immediately after this effect resolves. Normal summon a Chronomaly monster from your hand. If a Chronomaly or number exceeds monster control, would activate an effect by detaching material. By detaching material, you can send this card to the grave instead of one of those materials. You can only use each effect once per turn. So it basically this card acts as sort of like a double summon for the whole deck itself, which can help you go into your Xyz plays, which is just absolutely stupid. It's just so stupid. It really just is. I don't have any words for it, honestly. And then to round out the spells, we have 2 copies of Chronomaly City Babylon. So this is a really old card from way back in the day, actually. I don't even know when. But it's the field spell that reads, once per turn you can banish one Chronomaly monster from your grave, then target a Chronomaly monster in your grave with the same level as that banished monster, special summon it. So it acts as sort of like a Monster Reborn of sorts. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad, but you're mainly using Babylon for the Tula Guardian, because if your opponent doesn't use field spells in their deck, this card is the main reason why. It's the main reason why you have Tula Guardian is because of Babylon, for the most part, which is pretty crazy. And then for the traps, there are only 7 traps in the deck. First up, we have 3 copies of Chronomaly Esperanza Glyph. I don't think I ever talked about this on the channel before, but the effect reads. But the effect reads, during the main phase, target one Xyz monster you control or in your graveyard. Special summon two Chronomaly monsters that are a level higher than the monster's rank from your hand, deck, and or graveyard, but negate their effects. Then immediately after this effect resolves, summon one Chronomaly Xyz monster using only those two monsters. So this is excuse me. This is kind of like this is basically the Chronomaly version as the Chronomaly version of Xyz Revive Splash, basically, where with Revive Splash it's where let's see, so it's basically the same thing. It's basically the same thing. So Revive Splash reads target a rank 4 or lower Xyz monster in your grave, special summon it. Its attribute becomes water. You can banish the card from your grave, target a water Xyz monster you control, special summon from your deck. From your extra deck, one water Xyz monster that has a rank higher than that monster you control by using it as material and treat it as an Xyz summon. You can only use one per turn, only once at a turn. So basically, Esperanza Glyph is basically Revive Splash, but for Chronomaly, which is pretty crazy. Then of course we have two copies of Zing Zang Hu. This is actually, again, this is a really good card. It's an old Floodgate card, but it works so well because all you do is just select two of your opponent's set back row. They can't use them. It's just as simple. It's just as simple. And then two copies of Solemn Warning, just in case if you don't want your opponent to go into their place. Going to go hardcore into the plays, so to speak. Moving on into the extra deck, we have the one Guilty of the Dark Knight and the one Carbonal Warrior. Again, for the Xyz plays, we have the one number 39 Utopia double, and then of course Utopia himself. I'm actually using the artwork from Brothers of Legend. I'm actually deciding to use that because, well, why the hell not? It actually looks pretty cool. So, nothing too crazy there. Summon Utopia double. Trigger his effect. Add double or nothing. Summon Utopia. And you basically have a 10,000 beat stick on board. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Two copies of Chronomaly and Landis. Number 6 Chronomaly and Landis. This was a very old card from back in the day, but the effect is so crazy. So the effect reads, so the effect reads, when this card is Xyz summon, you can target one numbered monster in your grave, equip that target to this card. This card gains attack equal to half the attack of the equipped monster. Once per turn, you can attach one Xyz material from this card. Then, send the monster equipped by this effect to the grave, and half your opponent's life points. You cannot conduct your battle phase turn you activate this effect. Chronomaly Atlantis has the same effect, but what's cool about this is that his effect is just crazy. Absolutely crazy. If you activate any of this card's effects, your opponent takes no further damage this turn. Once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls, equip that target to this card as an equipped spell, whose effect makes this monster gain 1,000 attack. So this is sort of like, so with Chronomaly Chaos, with that effect right there of Chaos Atlantis, it's kind of like it's like a much more revamped version of Acts of Despair, which is just insane. If this card has number 6 Chronomaly Atlantis as an Xyz material against this effect, you can detach 3 materials from this card, send all number monsters equipped by this card's effect to the grave, minimum 1, make your opponent's life points 100. So this ensures that your opponent just automatically loses. So your opponent has to have an out to it, otherwise they're gonna lose. Otherwise, they are going to lose, which is absolutely insane. Next up, we have 2 copies of number 33 Chronomaly Machu Mech. So this is actually a really cool one. So the effect of Machu Mech reads once per turn you can detach one Xyz material from this card. Target a face-up monster your opponent controls. Inflict damage to your opponent equal to the difference between its original attack and its current attack. And if you do, this card gains attack equal to the damage inflicted. So this is basically another one of your win conditions by just dealing your opponent damage is absolutely insane. I'm not even going to say anything more about that card. Next up, we have three copies of Chronomaly Vimana, which I'm actually thinking what I'm going to do is I'm thinking about cutting this down to 2 and adding something else. I'm actually thinking about it. I'm actually thinking about it, but I don't really know what I want to add in. But I do have 3 copies of Chronomaly Vimana. So I believe I talked about this on the channel. What was it, last year? So the effect of Vimana reads: once per turn, as a quick effect, you can target one face-up monster on the field and one Xyz monster or Chronomaly monster in your grave. That monster on the field gains half the attack of the monster in the grave until the end of the turn. Then attach that monster from the graveyard to this card's material. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, as a quick effect, you can detach 2 materials from this card, negate the activation. So this is kind of like a... So it's kind of like a Solemn Judgment, so to speak, which is pretty cool. It actually forces... So if you activate it, I'll say the effect of Magical Globe. Let's just say that your opponent activates Ash Blossom. The mana can actually negate Ash Blossom, which is just absolutely insane. And then to round out the extra deck, we have 2 copies of number 36, Chronomaly Chateau Hyuk. So this card is kind of a weird one. It's kind of a weird one. This was released in World Superstars, so I don't think I ever talked about this card before. But so it's a rank 4 Light Machine Xyz with 2,000 attack and 2,500 defense, and it requires 2 level 4 Chronomaly monsters. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, then target a face-up monster your opponent controls, change its attack to 0 until the end of the turn. You contribute 1 Chronomaly monster, then target a monster your opponent controls, whose current attack is different from its original attack, destroy that target. So not only is this a trap hole of sorts, but it also just drops your opponent's monster's attack straight to 0, which would help you just attack into their monsters and just essentially win for game, which is absolutely insane. So that's pretty much it for the extra deck. Moving on into the side, it's pretty much the standard as a lot of the other decks I've built. So we have 2 Ash Blossom, 2 Ghost Ogre, 2 Ghost Bell. These three work so well together. Ash Blossom focuses on cards being added from the deck to the hand, being summoned from the deck, or being sent from the deck to the grave. Ghost Ogre focuses on cards that are already face up, on the field. Ghost Bell focuses on the graveyard, which is pretty cool. Then we have the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon and a really good negation on board, which is pretty awesome. And then, of course, yes, my favorite ally of Justice Synchro, Decisive Armor. This card is crazy good. This card is just really good. It's just that good. You cannot deny how good this card is, actually. Then we have the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster as as a secondary, as like a third twin twister, in case if the twins don't work, this card can just can just easily wipe away the back row just like that. So yeah, so this like a. So this is kind of like a third twin twister of sorts. Then we have 2 copies of Forbidden Chalice. This card is just absolutely busted. This is basically imperm, but in a quick play spell. 2 copies of Waking the Dragon, obviously for the Dragoon and for Decisive Armor, and then 2 copies of Solemn Strike in case if the warnings don't work. You got the strike. So again, I want your guys' opinion on this deck. Is it good? Is it bad? What cards should I take out? I want your guys' opinion. Let me know in the comments below. And that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more deck profiles in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All the links will be in the description below. And if you guys have any fan mail that you want to send me and want me to open up on the channel, my address will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.